No,
I cannot speak.
I thought we were about to start now. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to start now? Sorry, Evan. They want to start now. Okay. Welcome to the highlight of the Nuart calendar. Make some noise if this is your very first Fight Club. Ooh, you're all in for a treat tonight. In the next however long, nobody really knows what's about to happen, but there will be some magic at some point that I can guarantee. So tonight we have two teams ready to debate. What they are debating is space versus place, a concept I am really just kind of grappling myself. Basically, we're talking about security versus freedom, art versus institution. Tonight, I think I'm going to let space give a little introduction. Make some noise for the host, Carlo McCormack. Carlo, you're looking great.
Thank you. Oh, I got the mic. Okay. So apologies that I'm not Carlo, first of all. Those are really big shoes to fill. The man is wry, he's intelligent, he's witty even when he's stoned. I'm none of those things. But I am the first female Fight Club leader, so please be gentle with me! And we are making space for women here. Yeah, so these guys are going to say some really compelling things about the importance of place, and we might not argue with a lot of those things. Yeah? We like place. We like places that we are familiar with. We love our hometown. We like going home for Sunday dinner. These are wonderful things about places. Places are things, or places that we are familiar with, where we're happy at. La-di-la-di-la-di-la-di-la. They're also really boring. Boring. This is why we need space, yeah? This is what street art as its best does. It interrupts the familiar of place. Yeah, so when you live in a place and you're walking to work every day, you stop seeing the walls, you stop seeing the people you're passing. You are on autopilot when you are moving through places. Yeah, you might feel comfortable, you might feel secure, but you're not going to feel anything else or see anything else. But if somebody does something crazy on the street on your walk to work, that jolts you out of the familiarity and the boringness of place. And you get a sense of freedom and of space and of possibility, and that is what we stand for.
Put your hands together for Suze! Suze Hansen, by the way, just to give her full title. You can use that. All right. Evan, would you like to do your thing for for place? No, you got.
Well, yeah. Well, why did she get to use the microphone?
I don't know. Oh, it's working.
She's the expert, Evan.
That is true. Actually, we're changing it up this year on our side. We are going to have Milu actually introduce our topic, which is not in response. By no means, this is not pandering. It's not a response to what you just said, but what she is holding our compelling argument to kick us off. Hold on. Excuse me. Excuse me. In an institutional setting, we do some top-down management, so we're just like letting everybody have their moment. I know.
Also, we're the real progressives here because she's not only a woman, she's got a weird accent also.
He comes with subtitles, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have someone stand at the side and just kind of decipher what Kieran's actually saying. And that's me.
Okay, is this on? Okay, our argument is basically that thinking that freedom does exist, that space outside the relation of power exists, is actually quite naive. And actually thinking that freedom exists above the equator, and especially in a place of this country that is such a society of control, is kind of naive. And actually not the freedom does not exist, and while we have this institutionalized place, we should resist within place till we burn everything down and we have actually freedom. So
On it down.
So I think not only, and yes, it's not only institution versus not institution. We actually think place is also ourselves, and we have to kill that inner cop we have, and that it's the worst, the small policeman that the system planted on you. And what we have to do is actually, because if you go outside illegal, but you reproduce exactly the same images, the heteronormative that disempower minorities, then you're doing the same thing of Coca-Cola, but without getting paid. And we actually have to go to the place and resist. And I finished with a quote of Marx that said that the worst worker was the one that felt free, because that was the one that will join the revolution last.
There we go. Didn't take long to hear Mark's quotes tonight. No, hang on.
You make fun of my fucking accent?
Well, there's going to be a lot of...
Are we going to go there?
All right, look, so you've heard the opening statements, the opening arguments. I need to see...
Yep.
You all right there, mate?
Sounds good.
Whoa,
We will single you out, son. All right, so what we need to do is find out where you guys are currently sitting. So if you are going to sit with Place and Suze and her team, put your hand up just now.
Space.
Space. I'm testing you all, and you passed. Well done. Well done. Woo! Okay, so if you're going to be with Suze in Place, put your hand up.
Hey!
Place.
Space! Just say freedom!
If you're going to be with Suze, put your hand up. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
I think it was like 40.
Yeah, it's
17.
It's a lot. It's a lot. We can.
This legitimately. And if you're going to be with, I'm just going to say Evan's team. Fuck you. Put your hand up now.
Whoa. All right. This is.
I'll do this fairly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.
Well,
7.
all right. Hold on a second. I think it's. I don't. I mean, I feel like this is even to kill my argument even more. But whatever.
No, hang on.
Hold on a second.
You can't undermine.
They
You can't
voted.
undermine
They
her
voted.
argument.
Let's start. Let's get this shit going.
Fine, we're off.
All right.
7 versus 17, right?
Hold on a second. If I'm not correct, we are at a street art festival that's been curated, that has.
It's been uncurated.
I want it to be.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, get it right.
Uncurated. Sure. Semantics.
Spinning
Whatever.
off into space.
Right, yeah. No. Okay, sure. We can keep saying that. So it seems fascinating to me that all of you are not under the impression that you're at a festival that is actually attempting to create the world's first street art institutional practice. It seems really fascinating that, so we're all here.
That is a lot.
This song.
Wait, 15 minutes ago, you just announced how this is going.
I was in a different space 15 minutes ago. I'm feeling quite free in this space.
It's wonderful, and that's great. But I thought the whole point why we're here is leading up to exactly what you just explained 15 minutes ago. So it seems fascinating. We have no votes because everyone thinks that we're so free to not vote. But I mean, come on, this is why we're here. We're here to create a dialogue and here to create our own art history, which in its way is institutionalized.
Sorry, can I just say, do none of you know how to use your mics? Just put them
We
on
don't
your
like to
head.
put it on our head.
Like they're meant to be worn, and they'll sound nice and clear.
It's like an IUD. I don't know.
Right?
It kind of hurts. I don't know.
It messes with my hair.
But we can at least hear you.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Okay, Carrie, you had something you wanted to say?
I wanted to say something. I think it's obvious that it's space because this new art this year is called. It's not called place is the space, is it? It's space is the place, and everyone who knows new art knows that at its core, it's got an anarchic free thinker behind it, and it may well be creating this place, but it's definitely there to create a space for artists to go and break the rules and to go and do other things, and that's what makes it the exception and not the rule. Because really, in freedom expression, surely the best art comes from below. It comes from the subculture. That's where it all comes. It might get co-opted and it might become something else, but all of the really true art must come from that voice that has no agency.
True, but we just have a dinner with sponsors.
Yeah, well, that's all bullshit that you have to do.
Yeah.
But we know what's at its core because we know that there's loads of stuff that's unsanctioned.
That's our point, is that you have to do the bullshit, unfortunately.
No, but how did you get here? How did we get here?
What we think is we have to change the bullshit inside the bullshit
You
because
can't
there
change
is
the
no
bullshit.
outer space.
No way.
There's no freedom. Like we're in fucking Norway.
You can't
like
be given freedom.
I had
You
to show
can't be
my
given
passport.
freedom. Someone
Coming
can't
here.
give it to you.
I need a visa to be here, so this is no free space at all. Like, and we have to acknowledge this.
Very good point.
So what?
Okay.
We just heard the Russian doll of bullshit with bullshit inside bullshit inside bullshit. All right, Lachlan, you're up, big guy.
All right. So,
Lachlan is jet lagged, by the way. He has flown
Yeah,
27
no,
hours.
no, no,
He
no, no,
doesn't need a woman to speak for him.
hang on.
Oh, he's standing up.
So,
Women explained.
I'm an academic, right? So,
Oh, God, we're going to lose him now.
I know. So, mostly that means I have to be very tempered in my tone. I'm not allowed to be intoxicated. I'm not allowed to have opinions, and I'm certainly not allowed to swear. So this is a big night for me because this is a
Go on,
completely
swear.
Just
different
say it, fuck.
kind
Say
of
fuck
space.
yeah. Go on,
Fuck
say
shit.
it, Lachlan.
Go for it.
Say fuck, 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 say fuck.
You can't do it.
Is this alcohol?
Come on.
Look,
Come on, swear, please.
we can at least agree that street art is way too institutionalized. And the reason I can tell you that, and the reason I can say that very clearly is I just flew on an airplane fucking 27
There it is.
hours
There it is.
to a street art festival. This is meant to be the most democratic open art form in the world. I spent fucking €2,000 and a day and a half in a fucking tin can to get to the other side of the world to a street art festival with a fucking sign that says, beneath the paving stones, the beach. I can tell you, under these paving stones, there's no fucking beach. If you keep digging down long enough, you get to where I'm from, fucking Melbourne, Australia, on the other side of the fucking world. That's what's beneath the paving stones.
Oh, he's fired up now. Here we go.
I'm
What
fed up.
What side are you arguing right now? Because it's
I'm sitting over here. Look. No. I'm really fed up. I'm really fed up with how mainstream fucking street art has become. Like, I've got street artists at home, people who cut their teeth in the street art scene in the early 2000s. They get emails every week from fucking little teenagers saying, how can I become a street artist? And they email back, go to the street and make some fucking art. There's no university courses. There's no shit you can do. You just go out and do it. And this situation, even in Australia, the land of the openness and freedom, has become way too institutionalised. I got a phone call a couple of years ago from the Lord Mayor of Melbourne.
Hang on, we need to know what happened in the phone call.
Yeah.
That's not how the story ends.
That's not it.
I want to cut you off, but we
Let
need to
him
know
have
what
it.
happened in the phone call.
Right.
What happened?
And the Lord Mayor said,
This has gone very evangelical.
Yeah.
The Lord Mayor said to me.
the Lord Mayor said to me, he said, we've got a problem with street art in this town.
I just inhaled my wine.
Can you come and talk to me about street art in this town? So I go to meet the Lord Mayor in Hosier Lane. Those who've been to Melbourne, Finton, Allison. You know, Hosier Lane's this amazing street art precinct.
All right, I'm done. Right. It's good.
No.
No. Everyone gets a limit. Kieran needs to say something.
I'm definitely
It's like
not.
a TED Talk.
I'm definitely not making a straw man argument here, but it sounds to me very much like you guys hate money. Really, it's the wonder of consumer capitalism that meant that I could have my tooth pulled out today for £150 within an hour of getting a toothache. Thank you, Karen,
So what he said there was
for pulling my tooth out.
He had a tooth pulled out
Yeah.
Which relates to
some money.
place.
The
Let him
exchange.
And I'm
Finish his
still
fries.
fucking here, baby.
You are.
Like, sorry, but
I choked on my wine.
You're-
which is
you
why I'm
you
crying.
just said that someone had a problem with street art and they call someone from the academia. So that I think it shows that actually there is no freedom. There's no freedom outside institutes. If there was freedom, why do we work? There is no freedom. So what we have to do is in the institution acknowledge this and not be like the one that I don't vote, so I'm not in the system. So what we have to do is actually resist and change the game while we try to burn everything down.
So we need to create spaces of resistance, which is our argument, and you can't steal it. Yeah? We can't. We agree. We agree. Well, okay, that's the job we're doing here. I agree. But I don't concede. Yeah? That was fatal. But, okay, no, I'm not finished. God, don't let me end that sentence with I agree. I agree. Those are really compelling points. We can't step outside of the system completely, and we should fuck with it and resist it. But that's kind of our argument too. Only we have freedom. Yeah. So space is not an absolute. We space is a feeling. Yeah, a sense of possibility, a sense of the possibility for resistance, the possibility for creativity that you create within a place.
Bunch of fucking happies, if you ask me. Come on.
But you think that exists right now?
All right, so let's do case in point today. I know.
You took it off again? I'm taking mine off. You're taking yours.
I have sensitive ears. It's irritating me. So the case of this morning, Finton McGee's mural, which we all agree is a beautiful mural. It connects with the community. So in a sense, it's been done through kind of an institutional format where there was money raised. There's an organization that's part of the city government that's helping produce the mural. I mean, it's all connected to. Unfortunately, there is a freedom in it, sure, but there's also an institutional background that's very important that connects to the community and makes everybody in the community feel a part of it. So, what would you say to how would that mural exist with that organization if we didn't have certain institutional templates to follow?
This is not a surprise because murals are the institutional form of street art. This is what we get. We get endless fucking
You mean beautiful, nice murals in a city?
Fucking supersized fucking street art that's not even in the street, that floats there like a fucking billboard. That is what happens when street art meets institution.
You were still on the plane. You didn't even see it.
I have to say that first, muralism from Latin America, they painted, in the Rockefeller, but then they went with their guns and fight each other through Trotsky. So yes, there is an institution, and we have to resist in it and live because there's actually no freedom, no space, no outside. So we have to resist while we try to burn the fucking place down. So that's my whole point.
Yeah, but
and I have to say that also what we have to gain, with these big walls, it's not actually how big or small or where they are, but actually the message that they have. So if we go through institution, but we actually do an empowering mural, then it's good. If you go outside in the night, in the space, in the freedom, blah, 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 and then you portray exactly the same fucking shit that Coca-Cola does, then
But the work that you do that's sanctioned may be good and it may have a meaning, and I've done that. I've been to Nuart and done those big pieces. But at the end of the day, as an artist, you've always know that it's been sanctioned. You always know that it's been seen. You know that you're working within these confines. When you go up at night and stick a tile up and you do what the fuck you want, that's real freedom. It is.
No,
you can do both. You can do both.
No,
We're
because you live in a
you
city
have to have a space where artists and people can go out and do what the fuck they want, free of any other thoughts.
Coming from a place of privilege, some of us have to go to bed early at night because we have to get up in the morning and go
She's
to
got
work.
cancer. She's got
sorry.
kids.
Such a place of privilege there.
You can't have one without the other.
Late
For a lot of
nights,
people
really.
to go and do
She's
their work,
got
they have
kids and
to
she's
do.
going out late at night.
I don't have any kids, but I do have a debilitating cocaine habit. Right?
Well, that would
I
keep you
can't
up
bear-
at night. You should have loads of fucking energy.
I'm hitting it hard, 5 p.m. I'm in bed by 9.
We wouldn't even have street art or graffiti if it wasn't for the illegality at the beginning, would we?
But illegality is what the system needs.
From below.
Illegality is what the system needs, yes, which is our point.
All right.
That's our point.
Illegality is
Hey!
what it means.
This is why we don't let women on the stage. I knew that was going to ruffle some
I didn't mean to
feathers.
slap you
I
that
see you were
much.
united in your hatred against me. All right, so they've kind of made their points there. I want to open it up for you guys a little bit to see if we can get any questions that you want to get off your chests to ask any one of our candidates. Anyone want to put your hand up?
Candidates.
Sorry, what was that?
For me.
What was that? What was that, James?
You're fucking running for office.
Stop
James,
pulling in favours.
you had a wee question there, James, did you? Did you have a question that you wanted to say? No, burning issue. That's good. All right.
Oh, we got one at the front here.
Oh, here we go. Into the. What's your name, sir?
My name's John. I come from Stavanger.
Nice. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming down. What's your question then?
Yeah. Not that I'm quoting you from earlier this year, but you did make a comment that said, I don't know why these guys want to be anonymous and go out in the night and put up this stuff. What's the point to that?
He does a good Milo.
That is a very good thing.
That's how you said it to me.
Yeah.
So there's no relevance to the work we're doing. That's how you see it.
Oh, that's the question.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
I'm saying that you're doing that in a city that is already controlled, in a system that is already controlled. So it's basically playing in the game. You're like the kids playing, because the fucking system,
if you get arrested.
how you change it is with politics and with fucking revolution and community and like actually deconstructing your fucking place or territory. That's where the action it is. In the place where with politics, not in this free illusion place that actually it's functional to capitalism and all the fucking system, but actually to acknowledge that we are in this relation of powers and this control place, and there is where we have to go. If you think that you have freedom, first I think that's privilege. Like, yeah, I think to think that you have freedom is privilege, and freedom does not exist above the equator. Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. Can I just ask you? Can you give me one example? I'm going to start with you guys. Can you give me one example of where the final goal of what it is that you're talking about with freedom and space exists?
Where's space, honey?
Place. Sorry,
Place.
place.
They're like the opposite of freedom. Don't give them a...
Because it doesn't exist.
I just gotta be honest, like I just kind of like it when artists get paid, and they get paid on time, and they get paid a lot of money to do what they do, and sometimes that has to come from sponsors and institutional places, and I actually don't think that's a bad thing. Maybe I'm weird, but I've been running a magazine for 12 years, and I try to do the same thing, and it seems to be working out okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And same on your side. Do you guys want to give an example of something that's properly worked on your side?
Carrie.
No, I don't.
Because your conviction in what you're talking about.
She has the freedom
Oh, really?
to say...
Nobody? He always went for it.
the freedom
Get
to
paid.
say...
No one's saying that artists should never get paid and they should never do anything within an institution. They should spend their whole life creeping around at night, sticking things up. We're just advocating that is where the true... that's what you need to start all the other stuff from. You've got to have, like, the graffiti artist who went around on the trains.
It's not your turn, Miller. It's not your turn.
All right, hang on. There's a gentleman. There's a shouty gentleman over here that wants to say something. Shouty gentleman, what's your name and what is it that you want to shout at the nice people?
My name's Nipper. It's the space where we can imagine the possibility of a rupture. Okay, so you've got to have that. Street art's principles are about creating a rupture in this society. It doesn't happen overnight, and people are going off course on that. But okay, what was it? 60-odd years.
Sorry, is there a question at the end of this?
Yes, no, he's...
Is it 60-odd years before slavery was ended in Great Britain? It takes time. It takes commitment. It takes fidelity to that. All right.
Fidelity.
Yeah.
Was there a question at the end of that?
Team fidelity.
Fidelity.
Okay.
Yes. Art never changed anything. Like the actually revolution came from like the underprivileged, and they fucking like got guns
Well, the
and made a
underprivileged
thing.
don't make
like
art.
It's actually a
Bullshit.
culture.
I call
You
bullshit.
can't say art never changed anything.
And you can't say underprivileged people don't
One
make
example,
art.
please. Just one
It
example.
has an effect on society. Okay,
Well, then you gotta jump in
the
at some
AIDS,
point.
the AIDS patchwork blanket where somebody decided to make a little patchwork thing to commemorate someone who died from AIDS, and then thousands and thousands of people did it, so it covered like the whole outside the White House, and they believe that that changed people's perceptions of those who had AIDS.
I think
changed
a lot of death.
Hang on,
Art, there's no point doing art if you don't think it fucking changes things. What's the fucking point?
What's the point to art if you're not going to change
Because I think art is just a job as any other. I don't think that I'm better than any other that makes a shoe. It's just being created in something.
This technically isn't really the question that we're debating here.
What's
We're talking about the manner in which it exists to create. We're not saying does art change anything.
Artist, you don't believe.
We're saying
Okay, Lachlan.
I have a retort. I have an answer. Like, I hate admitting this in front of a large group of people in 2018, but I am from America. I'm sorry. But there was a really nice moment in America at one point. I think it was the 30s and 40s. But no, there was a really great program in America that was giving money to artists to create wonderful murals and to create socially conscious artwork, and it was funded by the government. And some of the best American.
Works then, doesn't it?
What was that?
When governments fund.
Well, no, actually, so my point is that some of the greatest American art came from that era, funded by the government.
And what has happened since? That is 30s and 40s.
No, that's why I gave the intro that I'm sorry that I'm from America, so it's hard to admit that. But some of our greatest murals came from, some of our greatest social realist murals came from government funding, which is actually kind of a fascinating rupture to the system, but it was also funded by the system. So I think it can go hand in hand if it's done right.
The cultural battle against communism, was that, am I right there? Yeah. There was like a cultural war between the Americans and Russians. Commies.
There's no.
Which is what this boils down to right now.
Yeah.
The communists.
Blacklist these people.
But she was quoting Marx. It's pretty similar.
Just because you quote a guy doesn't mean you believe him.
I'm not.
I just want to say there is no place outside institutions, especially in these controlled cities, especially above the equator.
But you can create spaces of freedom
in your own mind.
No, it's an illusion.
It's a state of mind.
No, it's an illusion, so you won't do the revolution. That's
Try
what
keep
I'm
it
saying.
to one at a time, please.
We've all had too much drink.
Try and keep it to one at a time.
It's
Stop talking about the rupture. The fucking rupture.
It should be a moral.
It should be a gap in the sensible. Thank you. You can
All
join
right,
our
we're getting
team. You can join our team.
This is why he sits at the front. We got questions at the back that relate at all to the notion of space and place.
Are you falling asleep?
Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Wait,
Saz,
come
hang
on.
on.
Come
Yeah,
on, come on.
What's your name?
Come
Where are
on,
you from?
it's like doing an Evan.
Recorded, isn't it?
No.
My name's Jane, and so what I'm going to say might be controversial to some people. So so it's not really a question. So I work for an institution, and I also work in the outside space, freedom. Now, Carrie, you said that you can't have one without the other. So with that graffiti and whatnot, there wouldn't have been, like, the street art movement. I personally think that the tables have reversed now. You can't really have this street art movement, graffiti movement, without the institutions now. I think that's just the way it's playing now. I work within the institution, but I also work within. But I also work within street art, and it's the institution that is funding the stuff outside in the space. So all the stuff that's going off in the free space wouldn't happen without the funding from the institution.
We need their money to create spaces of freedom, I think.
And it mainly comes from the institution.
Do you want to elaborate on this point?
I could try.
Take it.
It's a pretty short point.
You've got a mic.
No, do I have a mic? I really hate
It's
this.
attached to your head.
Oh God, it's annoying.
Still there. It's been there since the start. It's not
I
moved.
agree. I'm becoming a grown-up too, and I like institutions to fund what we want to do, and it's nice to get paid and feed our children. That's nice. But you can subvert these institutions. Can we not? Can we create spaces of possibility and freedom and critical resistance? Can we work within the system? Yeah? It's not an absolute... It is our argument. She's claimed it, but it's ours. Yes.
Yes.
No, it's ours, Milu. It's ours. It's ours. Lachlan, wake up.
Every time you end your statement with "burn it down," that's a point.
That is our point.
That's why I keep getting confused.
That's the point for our team.
Every time you say burn it down, it throws me on what side you're on.
Come on. You know you want to join us.
I want to say that this concept of space and freedom is actually this illusion that it will keep us in this.
But it's the
and I want to say that something else. Like, do you really think that space, that street art that is mainly created by the white heterosexual cis men, is really a change and a revolution and freedom?
Don't mention that.
That's meant to be secret.
She said it. Okay, white man, what have you got to say?
Sorry, there's white man
another white
talking.
man just
I want
butted
to-
in.
white man
We got
talking.
one more.
I feel very marginalised. Like, just let me talk, will you? I've got no voice here.
Never been a tougher time
White
for a white man.
I just want to keep bashing the big targets, the easy targets, and the biggest targets as murals. I'm going to have
bash
another
those
crack
murals.
at bashing murals, and I'm going to refute your point about the most important thing with murals is the message. When I see a street art mural supersized, you know what that mural says? It says the same thing as MC Hammer says. It says, you can't touch this. You can't do this. This mural is not for you. When I see...
No.
Is there a bigger oxymoron than Australian academic?
Fuck you! There's two of us here.
Let's fucking get something straight here.
I'm half Scottish, you fucker.
You cunts got the
Wait,
internet
wait,
like
hold on a
fucking 5
second.
years ago.
We're not even going to talk about the
What?
MC Hammer
You got the
reference.
internet 5
Love
years
you,
I'm
Kieran.
half Scottish.
Love you.
My mother is
You've
going
had
to kill
electricity
you,
for
Kieran.
30 years. Don't come over here and wax lyrical.
Come over here. Since when are you
My
Norwegian?
country.
I'm half Scottish.
We fucking invented the internet.
My surname is...
Fucking right. That
My
guy
voice is
that
getting really
Alexander
high. I need
Graham
to
fucked with or
just
something. He was the telephone.
Kieran,
The penicillin guy, he invented the internet. What was his name again? Fleming?
we're getting drunk now.
There's another, like, Fleming.
I was going to let Evan speak.
Sorry.
Take
I
it.
got
Can I have
sorry.
another
Take it,
fucking
take
beer,
it.
please?
I think Kieran needs another
Sorry for the
beer.
language.
I'm still struggling with the MC Hammer
it
comment.
happens.
Wait,
That
because
Australian
that was pretty bold.
academic guy, I've been reading that all day. I'm sorry.
I just gotta be honest. Like, I still don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. And I'm being super serious. Like, I
okay.
have no
That's
idea
okay,
what
Evan.
argument you guys have
You
made
should
at
just have
any
a little
point in this
nap now,
conversation.
then.
Like, I understand. Like, I might not make the best arguments, but like, what are you guys talking about? Seriously, because no, you guys have been talking about this like
You're
idea.
burning down the house.
I'm not even drunk, which is like the first time ever at this debate I'm not drunk. It's like maybe that's what's happening. I'm like
That's
having
the
a moment of
problem.
clarity.
Have some more.
But like I really don't. I still am. I don't even know how to rebut any.
Because you didn't...
Well, unless you're going somewhere, unless you
No.
just gonna keep hammering her.
No. So
Because you don't understand what we're saying means that you win?
no, absolutely not. It doesn't.
Okay,
It
so
doesn't. I don't even
because-
care about winning at this point because it's like
No.
what I'm trying to figure out is
Is that we're incoherent?
no. What I'm trying to figure out is like you guys have now bashed murals, which is like there's a ton here in this town, so that seems kind of odd.
Yeah, but that is not all there is in this town. We also have human-sized work. We have tiny, surprising towns. We've got all kinds of shit.
Right.
And stencils and work everywhere. This is not just a festival of murals plastered up everywhere. Otherwise, we
Right.
wouldn't be here, would we?
Right. Yeah, do you want to go? I don't know. I'm like lost. I'm still trying to
We've
figure
got
it
all
out.
Where are you
nice.
going, Evan?
All right. Had enough bickering children.
Well, you gave us alcohol. We're going
I
to get
heard
annoying
so many
now. We
new
should stop.
words tonight. Martin, you got a question? Sorry, what's your name, sir? Do you have a question? Fuck that, didn't I? It's not the same when we're not on a boat.
So just to get things back on track, space,
We're not...
if you're walking down the street, the street art street, and you going past two buildings, and in the middle there's an abandoned space, an abandoned building.
Yes.
Overgrown, grass, weeds, this Jules Clement
It's an
third
interzone,
landscape.
if you will. Yes.
So that's space, yeah? When the neoliberal gentrifiers come along and they see that space, they cut the grass, they chop the trees,
Make
they
it
put
into a
down some
place.
park benches and they'll place make it. Like they did at Tausena. They ripped the heart out of something that they turned space into place. So for us, for the space side, space is already the place. That's the point of the argument, yeah?
Okay, well, you should have
That
come
we
and
don't
argued that
need.
then.
I said space
We
was
don't
the place.
need
We're
to
not
place
was
make
the
space.
space.
Space is the place.
It's
So
not at
just
the beginning.
fucking leave it alone.
Okay. Sorry, Matt.
I want to answer.
I'm starting to think there might be a subtext in your choice of theme for this debate.
I didn't say that at the beginning.
I want to answer.
Space is the place. It's the name of the fucking new art.
I want to answer.
Shout at me. You had hours to prepare this debate. Yes, of course
Yes.
you can retort.
Thank you.
Milo.
I have to say that abandoned place.
Not to Martin, to them.
Hello. Hey, but that abandoned place is actually planned in order to lower the prices, in order to colonize that place that usually is for colored people, and that's a neoliberal. That space of freedom is actually created and marginalized from an institution in order to create a neoliberal, consumption place for middle class and upper classes. So I think that space actually is not freedom; it's actually already planned by an institution.
My granddad burnt his house down in a chip pan fire, and that was left abandoned for years. I promise you that was not intentional.
And that's where Newcastle comes from. So we have a question down here.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Oh shit, I got it wrong again.
Doing your job.
My name is Elizabeth. And I am...
Thank you, Melissa. Sorry about that.
Is this an AA?
It's about to be.
Hello.
So kind of what I'm thinking of, if we take this analogy of a house that's been kind of like abandoned and what we're going to do with it, like what if we kind of swapped the word institution for community instead? Like what if this person who kind of took this abandoned building and turned it into a community center for fucking weirdos who are like...
What about the weirdos already in the building?
But
what are we going to do
abandoned.
with people
It's
who
abandoned.
already have a relation
This
with...
theoretical, beautiful building that's empty and no one's using it, and then this community kind of
But
comes along
that's
for
good
this
for
person.
space.
Shredder, finish a beautiful story.
It is so beautiful.
It is really pretty.
But I think sometimes like we think of institutions as this like fucking man who's like just trying to beat the creativity and
We
everything.
hate that man.
But
We
it's
hate...
fucking no. But it's
not you,
fucking
Milo.
no. That's my point. Is that it's not like half of the time we're just like, man, this guy's trying to bring me down. And I feel like if an institution is capable of destroying your creativity, then you were lacking strength in the first place. Like, then like, and so as much as I am for creativity and freedom and all these things, I believe in the power of community and the power of standing on the shoulders of giants to then empower people's individual creativity to then make.
But we love the community.
Let's give them the mic. This festival is...
Should we give her a quick...
Oh, absolutely. Go on.
I mean, maybe I feel like this festival is built on the idea of making institutions like become more community oriented. Like it seems like this festival is a total example of like what our argument is about. It's like it's the success of evolution of like creating a community, and it seems like you're kind of just acting like an institution has never done anything good before.
No, institutions do good
not
things.
that.
But communities are plural. Communities are not singular.
Okay. Well,
And communities...
What if this is one community?
And communities do take
I haven't
over
been in
space.
school for a really long time, so I don't even really know.
Help me.
No one is arguing with that. There are more than one.
I think it comes down to class. We are the working class.
Fuck you, I was a
Proletariat.
teenage lover.
You guys are the upper middle class bourgeoisie. We are Chardonnay and your gin and tonic. And me, Evan Miller, are all working class Argentinian Coca-Cola
Evan
and a
really
lager
seems like
beer,
he's a working
like
class
simple
American.
people.
Yeah, right.
That's your problem. You should be the proletariat.
Rupture.
That's my point. No?
No, the working class is not the proletariat.
Can we go back to the interzones?
But outside.
But who's
No, it's not.
Actually,
It's the dominant class.
Right.
Is it
Doug,
unions
help.
based
Hang
on
on.
the idea of...
Hang on. Right. Let's get back to this really nice idea where the community's
Interzones.
being built and then it suddenly becomes two. Anyone else got another wee question they want to throw? Oh, fuck, we're all coming out now. Let's go there with yourself. I'm going to just pass this down. Can you just do me a favour and ask him what his name is and where he's from?
What's your name and where you're from?
What's your name?
My name's Al. I'm from England.
Woo! Hi, Al. Brexit.
Watch it, you. I kind of want to see if I can pose a question to take the dialogue forward.
Ooh. Get you. Come up here.
What's wrong with our circling?
Yeah, right? After years of obviously following the miracle that is the Nuart Festival and all it did in the years building up as I was watching it from afar and then getting to know the person who made it, I was then dealt a beautiful backhanded compliment one day when I was called an easel painter.
Oh.
Which is a very important thing to acknowledge. As an artist, I paint paintings, and I usually do that alone. And I have to accept. Yeah, no, bear with me here. Liz has seen where the paintings go.
You can share here.
My point is this. Does this dialogue between space and place mean that street artists have now got to the point where traditional artists have been for a long time, where only in the creation of the work for yourself is it valid? If a street art piece is made, whether it is seen or not, whether it gains critical context via the public or the place it's seen or not, is it only important for the person who makes it? Like, you want to create something and burn down the system, you still need building blocks and you get the satisfaction from making it. You want to conceptualize something and create something beautiful and send it out to a public who might see it. Both of those are still contained within the making of the piece. So, do street artists now arrive at where easel painters have been always, where we have to just paint a painting for ourselves, whether it's going to end up in a gallery or not?
Okay.
Hello, a round of applause.
Can we have an artist?
Who wants to take this?
I think the
No,
artist. The artist is shaking her head.
I think someone clearly doesn't, which means you're definitely going to. Carrie.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry, Carrie. She was waiting for a drink and
I'm pissed.
we can't do this much longer.
Ah, yes, stimulating debate. Do you want to take it? You are the captain. You are the captain. It was a good question. It was a perfectly valid question.
It's a great question.
And
It's such a good question.
At university.
And I think easels are so underrated. We should have more of them.
Hey, what if there's two communities?
Lachlan.
Come on, Professor.
There are multiple
All right, come on.
communities.
This could be the nail in your coffin right now.
Of course you're not paying for your fucking self. If you're painting on the street, you...
Don't shout at me. It was him that asked the question. And it's him. It's these guys you're debating.
Lachlan, wake up.
Yep. Easel painting. Yep. Well, you know, the 19th century tradition of easel painting does bear a relationship to contemporary street art, only to the extent that both have become highly institutionalized, too individualized, and
I love him.
lacking any connection to a broader kind of social purpose. And
yeah, Lachlan. Oh, yeah.
this gets us back to this is an
I don't
argument
know if
that you.
helping
Academic cheerleading. Let him do his groove. He's doing a groove.
This is an argument that you can't refute. The roots of this practice are in outsider art, in illegality, on 13-year-old angel dust.
Yep.
These are our arguments, not your arguments.
You stop stealing our arguments.
I want to say
bitches.
something.
You are stealing our arguments, me.
No, I want to say that painting in the street in Latin America, it's not illegal. So actually, this potential of illegally is here because you need that to be illegal.
You have freedom there?
No, we don't because
we paint in the street
I
without
have
getting
to
arrested.
work. I have
How many times do I have to tell you? Just one at a time, please.
You gave us these drinks.
It goes speaking. One person at a time, please. Because you're deafening everybody here. Right, Milo, you were talking.
Yes, I was talking. Of course, we don't have freedom because we have to work, and actually, it's not even enough right now, and we have to work, and that's not freedom. What I'm saying is illegality of street art is needed here because you need something illegal. Actually,
Yes,
you need criminality.
You need something illegal. You need some space.
You need criminality to actually.
Yes, we need criminality. We need freedom. We need criminality.
Because you need to be the justification of the society of control. You need to justify the fucking
just want
police.
the sense of freedom and the sense of space. Yeah, we want that bite of adrenaline, that bite of life.
Street art right now and graffiti illegal is just a justification for the police not to be that racist. Because if it wasn't by graffiti writers that are white, jails will and all the police will only arrest immigrants. So you really need this illegality, actually.
We have definitely derailed this entire thing right there.
It's going really bad
Oh my god. I think unless anyone has anything vital they need to get off their chest.
Space is the place.
I think we should do some closing arguments from the team captains, the actual team captains. I'll let you guys go first because you started. Oh no, sorry, there was a vital question. Yeah. Oh, we got fucking hundreds of vital questions. We're gonna drag this out forever. And what's your name? Where are you from?
No. It's Peter from London. But I just thought, isn't space the final frontier? 1968, Captain fucking Kirk.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We'll take that. Woo!
I stopped my entire
Star Trek?
monologue for that shit. Poor Al in the corner never got anything close to an answer to his question.
Star Trek. That was good.
Oh, great. Let's debate that. Shall we do the closing monologue? Have we got fucking ages, do we?
You feel like there's more?
There's still more.
There's more.
Okay, so back to your question then. Is space the final frontier?
I don't get any more free drinks.
You need to
when
be
I'm
on our
there.
team, Nipper. You are so with your
I'm
ruptures.
drinking all night. Let's keep this
Stop.
debate going.
Stop it. Right, we're going to keep going. There was a question over here. Can you do me a favour, guys? Pass this down and you know the question to ask this nice gentleman.
Yes. Yeah, we need you up here. You want to take my spot?
Right. Everybody got distracted. So, my name is Stefano, and I've been long enough to forget where the fuck I'm from. So I have a question for the six.
Somewhere like that.
I have a question for the six fellas on stage.
For the what? The sick Carlos?
Yeah. So, do you agree? Or have the guts to disagree to the fact that you can have amazing art with plenty of space and no place, and there's no art that can exist in a place with no space at all?
Well, that's a different definition of space. Now we're getting like...
No. And therefore place is nice and welcome, but will always be just merely functional to space.
Oh, yeah! Woo! That was a nice point. I just think that's lovely. What he said.
Space.
No, hang on. Kieran, do you want to say?
I couldn't understand that fucking guy's accent. I don't know, man. Whatever.
You don't understand the game?
Something.
Yeah, but it is. This debate between space and place is 1,000 years old. This is a stupid pub quiz. I mean, it's brilliant, but it's 1,000 years old. This thing we're doing now. This is like, oh, sorry.
Did she just call this a stupid pub quiz?
Yeah.
She did. She's called it
She's called this institutional landmark that is the New Art Fight Club. You just call it a stupid pub quiz, Martin.
No, only because.
Martin, close your ears.
No, I didn't say it was stupid. I said
it's like we're arguing that like a great album can't be recorded in a studio. It's like it has to be done live. It's like a fucking weird.
Yeah, I had Chardonnay. It's brilliant, but it's stupid because we've been doing this for 1,000 years and we're not going to solve it tonight. But I think we're on the side of the right.
It's just like a bunch
not the right wing. You're on the side of the right wing. Trump's
I'm not. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm not an academic. I don't fucking know your words. It's like
I'm not a fucking academic.
No.
He's not an academic.
I'm not an academic
I didn't point to her because I like her right now. I'm not pointing to her.
I gave you cigarettes all day, bitch.
It's gotten so personal. No, I just, again, we haven't gone back to the fact that it's just, we're acting as if like really, really great art can't come from like certain kind of blueprints.
Oh look, I just asked
and
a
I
question.
think it's just ridiculous.
Listen, where do you want your art to come from? From a place of security or freedom? It's fucking obvious. Obvious.
I don't know.
You
Fucking
want it to come from a place of freedom.
fucking John Coltrane recorded a Love Supreme in a studio.
Freedom.
Should I say it's not good?
Stop shouting freedom at a bunch of Scotsmen. Because we know freedom.
You just killed my closing argument. Fuck, man. That was my bet.
You're going to come on our team, you're going to do that, William Wallace.
So
I was working on that
2
bet
for
all
1.
last night. I had that fucking written down, Doug.
All right. Fucking, I think.
Stop now.
Just before we do the thing, does anyone feel closer to understanding the question?
Please let us stop now.
All right. Should we do it?
Closing argument.
No, just because you want to start.
She's gonna
Going for
close
another half hour. Let's do closing arguments. Suze.
Carrie, you're totally past the parcel here.
No.
Really? Okay.
What dear, thank
Tell them a story. Tell them a story.
Which story? I'm going to tell them the story.
Do you want it to be? Do you want to be? Place is the space.
No.
Or space is the place.
Yes.
Do you want your art to come from a position of freedom or from security? Okay, we do need both. We do need art in the institutions. We do need them to come on board, and it's great. But really, think of the best art. It's got to come from a position of freedom. And there is freedom. She can say there isn't freedom, but there's always personal freedom. And personally, I like the space where I'm fucking off my head on drugs and I'm doing art.
No,
you know?
don't.
There is always space. Think of Bill Hicks
No,
when he
she little
talks
bitch.
about together we can explore. Space, inner and outer together. Isn't that the fucking art you want? Or do you want the institutions to give it to you? It's good. We need them. We need to co-opt them. Obviously,
Someone
we need
just
them on
woke
our
up.
side. But when you think of Martin, do you think of place or space? It's obvious. It's in the title. Space is the place. Thank you.
Yay.
Woo!
You want me to go?
Think carefully.
She's gonna take
It's going to
it
be an
anyway.
important choice.
He's going to quote Marxism, for fuck's sake.
All right, since I don't know, I'm just fucking whatever. There's so many, I don't know, there's so many things I could say to that.
So say it.
So on our team, we have a sign painter who is given assignments by companies to create art within a certain.
Are you fucking laughing at?
Yeah, what are you laughing at? It's called sign painting. It's a job.
Shut that fucking
It's a job where he makes money making art. He's given an assignment, and in that assignment, he is asked to achieve a certain goal. But within that achievement of the goal, it's his creativity and it is his freedom within a confines to create something.
Sorry, what was that? Freedom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said within the confines
And
of.
is there what within the confines there's a freedom? Oh, sorry.
The whole time I've been saying that there is freedom within an institutional framework. I'm not. There's no argument there.
We have the same argument.
We do.
No.
But
Space
no, so no.
You guys are scared of money.
So
You
in my
guys
closing
together?
argument is
It
that
would
we.
be so cool if we agree to disagree and win together. That would be the most
We're not
feminist
gonna win
fight
together.
club
I don't
ever.
want to win with you.
There is no space without place. It's not going to happen.
Well, it could happen actually
Alright,
because it's
fuck
up to
you.
you guys to decide. So it's
Wait,
not up to you to
one more-
decide whether
I was-
you go.
I was born
it was supposed to be a
born
closing
poor,
argument.
and I'll be fucked if I'm going to die poor. So
I'm
going
gonna die
to make
poor.
that fucking money. I've got rent to pay.
Wait.
He didn't need the freedom. He didn't need the freedom, Leighton.
Yes,
He got his
You're
own.
the only one with rent to pay suddenly.
revolution.
He's loved every second of this. Right, just to really piss off Milo. Right, go on, shout at them about how you'll burn it down.
I just want to say, like, in order to make a stencil, I have a can, you have to buy it with money. So it's actually no freedom there. So we have...
get chalk
No one
and write
buys.
on the streets. That's
Sure.
in
Europe, we don't have cans because they're so expensive. So we are talking about a very privileged control place.
Argentina and be doing political arc on the streets. That's how you had all of that.
Let's all live in caves and use stones.
Stones and caves.
So, fuck. I don't really know what to say. Thanks for coming out. It's been lovely. Shall we do a big fat vote? If you are...
Freedom.
It's not freedom. You are on Susan said, put your hand up now. You had 17 before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You've lost one. You've lost one. Ladies and gentlemen, shut the fuck up. If you're on Evan's side, put your hand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Fuck, you've won by a landslide. Hey!
Oh, well.
My wee heart is racing like Kieran on a Friday afternoon. All right, that's it. One more time. Give it up for everybody that stood on stage. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, you shouter bastards. A recount? They had hundreds. They had so